Opticalia is a leading European brand which is now in the Gambia. Are you looking for glasses? Then you have come to the right place. As a first step, we will perform an eye exam to ensure we prescribe the correct lenses for you. After that, you can select a frame of your choice. We have a variety of brands in stock, and you will definitely find yours. You can have the full package of frame plus lenses starting from $990 up to more for the most fashionable options. Once you find a frame you like, your lenses will immediately be edged by our lab technician. Within 30 minutes, you will be able to leave with your prescription glasses and a huge smile on your face. How amazing is that? Visit us at the Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week, or call us on 503-4411 or 7767-123.
Oops, we are already on. Good morning, everybody. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Balde, and of course today we are back again. It's Thursday, another edition of the This Morning program. The program is sponsored by Opticalia for all your ears, nose, eye, and throat problems. You can visit them. They are located at the Tropic Shopping Center. I'm joined by my colleague, Loli M. Kamara. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good to be back again.
Exactly.
For another exciting one.
Our boss said it is a strip Thursday today.
Yeah?
Yes.
I nearly Google and know what it means.
Yes. So we are here with Mr. Ade. Mr. Ade, I mean, it's good to have you.
Oh, it's good to be here. Both Balde and I are wearing stripes, so we were pretending. And so is Bala Musa Kurubali, by the way. He's also, in fact, an almost identical shirt to this. So we thought, let's make it Stripes Thursday.
Stripes Thursday.
Why not?
I love shirts with stripes.
Asobi, right?
It's nice. It looks professional when you wear shirts like this.
It tends to,
you know, it's also important to know the way you dress also counts. Sometimes it's important for you to dress for certain occasions. Each occasion and the way you dress.
First impressions count. This is true.
Exactly.
And simple is always beautiful.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
You guys look really great.
Well, you don't need to you don't need to wear expensive clothes to look good. I mean, my colleagues, when I was at the QCell marketing department, most of them, they know Balde does what we call window shopping. I mean, bend and buy. You know, people like Amisise and Kuje, they know me of buying what we call the Fokojai. You know what Fokojai is?
No, but you're going to tell me.
Fokojai is the clothes that they sell around the Serekunda market.
I guess.
You know, second-hand clothing.
Yeah.
You know, so I am very good at buying those things, especially during my marketing days.
You can find quality things there too.
Man, funny Fokojai la de. Man, dem jena Fokojai.
And you know, we have them in England too. A lot of them, they call them charity shops.
Wow.
And what they sell is second-hand clothing.
Yeah.
And so one day we were having a discussion in the office, and I said to them, and they were like, some of them said, oh, they will never buy that kind of stuff. So I thought, okay, let me try a little experiment. So for 1 week solid, from Monday to Friday, everything I wore was something I bought secondhand.
Wow.
And so at the end of the week, I said to them, did you guys notice anything about my clothes? Like, no. I said, well, let me tell you. Took a picture with every one of these. I said, every one of these that I wore this week was second-hand clothing. They didn't believe me. I had to take them to some of the shops and show them.
Yes.
And after that, all of them started visiting, honestly.
You know,
so
the
mentality,
you know, the mentality that we have here.
Yeah.
I mean, second-hand clothing are for the poor people.
Yeah.
You understand?
Find good quality
Whenever you go buy second-hand, people will put you in the category of broke people. Yes, I am broke. I go to second-hand. You understand?
Yeah.
But at the second-hand clothing, I find clothes that, you know, I can see nobody wearing such kind of clothes.
That's it.
I mean, if you look at the shirt that I'm wearing, you can go for many, many years without seeing someone wearing the same thing. But if you go to the fashion shop, maybe I can buy it here. Someone can buy it from Basse, and it looks like alike.
The same. Yeah.
You know, so
it's good. Cool.
And the quality as well.
And
you
the
know.
Oh
quality.
yes.
So
Quality.
I am the Fokojai man here.
Cool.
I like to go there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you find good stuff there, and especially for the children, you can find stuff
Exactly,
that
good
you
ones.
look
Good
perfect
ones.
on there.
You know. So it's important for us to know certain things. You see, Mr. Ade, I mean, it's important not to impress anybody.
Sure.
You are not in a competition with anybody.
Cut
The
your
only
cord.
person that you are competing, it's yourself. You understand? So my financial status might not support me to go and buy a suit of $10,000 to wear. If I wear a suit of $10,000 and I cannot provide for my family at home, it is useless. It's
yes.
bunkum.
It's meaningless. It has no
Yeah.
word.
This is true. I mean, you're not trying to impress anybody. Impress yourself. If you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, you know, I feel proud about what I'm doing and what I'm wearing, that's what matters, really, other than trying to impress anybody.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Well, interesting. Now we'll take a look at the African proverb. Lolly, what does it read?
And the African proverb reads, "The sun does not forget a village just because it is small."
Are you sure the sun should waste his time, you know, signing over a small village? I mean, we have big communities. I mean, I think
Big cities.
yes, the sun should sign there and forget about the small
You
village.
should shine just on Banjul and not on Janjambwe.
Hey, we'll protest.
Yeah, of course, in the literal sense, it means that, you know, nature doesn't favor or you know, or victimize anybody based on, you know, your wealth or whatever else you have. You know, in Sierra Leone there's a similar one, that when the rain falls on everybody, including the rich and the poor. And similar, of course, the sun, even the people from small villages need love too, and they need sunshine
yes.
too. And it's about not neglecting those who have, you know, don't have means, or they don't have riches. Nonetheless, they're human beings too, and they deserve everything: the sun, respect, you name it.
Development.
So the
everything.
development, everything, really. And that's I'm glad you mentioned development, because, you know, since I came here, you know, I went to some villages, and one of the things they were complaining about was that they had built like a health clinic for them, but when they took me to the quarters for the staff, they said, "This is why nobody wants to come and
Exactly.
serve here, because they're not fit for human habitation, really." And so that's an indication of even those small villages, they need that respect too. And you know, if you're going to build a clinic for them, build proper staff accommodation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like yesterday when the teachers union's president was here, this was some of the things that I put to him, because you have teachers who they want to go there to the rural Gambia, because you know, it's not comfortable there, staying there. And these are some of the things that we should look into. So this proverb really matches that, because it does not matter where you live or how far you are.
Sure.
When it comes to development, they should be looked into. They should also have the share of the cake, because they are part of the Gambia and they are citizens like any other.
Yeah, and if we value teachers in the way we claim we value them, then we should give them, as the lady who was in the news report we did. She made the case very, very strongly. She said, we're not begging.
Exactly.
You know, we're asking for, but in a way we're demanding that, you know, treat us with respect in all manners, including our pay, the accommodation, make it a conducive learning environment. Then people of quality will come into the teaching profession. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Equals here, equal pay.
You know, the proverb, it's telling you to be confident. I mean, the sun doesn't discriminate any person. It's telling you, when you work hard, your time will come. No matter what happens, one day you will shine. You know, this is said to a person who wants to give up. I mean, sometimes, don't worry, the sun shines even, you know, in the smallest village. So just keep pushing, you know. But there is more to this proverb that people, it depends on how you understand the proverb. You know, I think it's interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
And even talking about small village, in the case of, you know, every little bit helps. If somebody says, I'm collecting $1 million and they have 999,000, but your $1 is the one that's going to make them complete the million. Suddenly you're very important in it.
Definitely.
Because without it, they don't have the million.
Exactly.
You know, so even that being small,
you know, it reminds me of during the coalition period, when they interview the former Minister of Agriculture, that's O.J. Jallo. They said, one of the journalists said to O.J., look, I mean, I don't think PPP matters here. I mean, you are not popular anymore. And, you know, the parties that we are talking about is UDP, NPP, you know.
Really?
You are not very important. This coalition, you are just trying to cling yourself, you know, just to be on the limelight. So what he responded to the journalist was really amazing. He said to the journalist, now, let's take a sample. I mean, we have a well of 25 meters. You understand? We know only 25 meter rope that will be able to reach where the water is.
Correct.
And, okay, now, NPP brings their 10
meter rope. Yes.
UDP with their 10-meter rope. You understand?
That's
They
20
can
meter.
still not
They
fit.
can't
They
fit.
can still not get the
the
water.
water.
Oh, yes.
So they need my 5 meter at least
get
to
the
be able
water.
to get the water. So you see, that's wisdom for him.
Booyaka.
You know, and
Good
he
one
got
there.
the journalist immediately.
Oh.
Dead.
You know,
Dead.
so that's what happened.
Kill him
You know,
dead.
everything matters.
That's it. Yeah.
Little things.
Every bit matters.
Exactly.
And so these proverbs, they always make us think. And you know, we think about great stuff. So yes, it's a nice one.
Exactly. So what we'll do now, we'll take a short break. After the break, we'll go to the newspaper review. And we'll be doing that with Mr. Adi. We'll be back.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network.
This is QTV This Morning you're watching, and we've already dealt with the African proverb. If you're just tuning in, you can go to our website to follow all the things you missed on this platform. And we have a newspaper here, and it reads, Marie Sok laments government is dysfunctional. Yes, and ex-Fuladunam, Sana Jawara breaks silence. Seinabu and co plead not guilty to manslaughter. And of course, we also have a very interesting headline. It's making round. Police rescue Bakausu, disciples taken hostage by rival Imam Saidi's camp in Tujering. That's what we have on this newspaper. We also have the Fourier. I'm finding a little bit trouble to read out. I don't know.
It's not that
It's
clear.
not clear today.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, but we'll try to do something. Let's take a look.
Maybe you
at
need to go to Opticalia and get glasses. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Or is
think-
it your screen?
I think I definitely need it. We have market vendors decline interviews on high cost of living for lack of action.
They are tired.
They are tired of interviewing them without any action.
Okay.
We also have IMF analysis evaluation of country's economy. And of course, AG to audit all state-owned enterprises. That's what we have on the Point newspaper.
Okay.
Yes. So let's start with Marisok laments government is dysfunctional. Dysfunctional rather. So is that the case here? I mean,
Well,
what is your own perception when it comes?
I mean, it depends on what she's talking about, but there are very many elements of government that I complain about endlessly. A lot of it is to do with the ministries and how they are not, they're not working properly. They don't communicate with us, the citizens. And I always say this, if people don't believe me, just go and look at all the government websites, all the ministries' websites. I think as of today, which is what, 6th of October, I think you'll probably find only 2 of them are actually what you might vaguely call up to date. Some of them are so out of date that where it says latest news, you'll find stuff from 2019 and 2018. I think 2 of them have stuff from 2022. And so depends on what she means by dysfunctional. She might mean that they're not working in a coordinated way, which would mean that, yes, one government department does this, and then another government department says, oh, no, that's not the case. We had the thing recently with the press release that went out about people scraping basalt off the road. You know, one press release came out saying, if you see people do it, report them to the police. And then the next day we had
said the guy gave the authority
saying that, you know, they were allowed to do it.
Exactly.
After you know, saying people will be prosecuted if they were found to be doing it the very next day. So that was a case of kind of dysfunctional, you know, uncoordinated certainly. So that might have been, but one would need to know the context that she's talking about.
Exactly. Very, very important. Let's talk about the budget. I mean, National Assembly members are busy debating about the budget, the expenditure, how things were spent, the previous expenditure. Looking at some of their reports, I mean, there are things that are spent even they are not even accounted for. When you look at it, I don't think that should be an oversight. That is a huge mistake, Mr. Ade.
It's a huge mistake, and it is one that the National Assembly members did not find funny because they said certain things, and you know, they're talking about huge sums, several millions, and when you add it up, you're talking about hundreds of millions unaccounted for or not properly accounted for. And so again, you know, Mr. Mboja and I discussed this. Yes, they've found these things out, but what can they do? Do they have any powers to actually, you know, bring people to book and say, you know, you should be doing this, you're not doing it? Because those people might be embarrassed for a day or two because they've been mentioned in the National Assembly, but unless there is some sanction against them, the same thing will happen next year and the year after and the year after and the year after that. So there needs to be some sort of sanction against government ministries and government departments that don't file proper accounts, that don't keep proper records about how they you know, how are they audited, because they're meant to be audited every year. We remember famously or infamously, you know, when the I think it was the Public and Finance Accounts Committee looked at various ministries and government departments, and some of them had not filed accounts for 3 and 4 years. That's ridiculous. The law says you have to do it every year, and yet they weren't doing it. So yeah, I mean, the budget, of course, they'll look at it, but we have to stop this thing about people getting to the end of the year, getting criticized in the National Assembly for not filing proper accounts, and then nothing happens. Something
they were free, nothing happens. They keep doing it, as you said, they keep doing it. Unless and until there is strict measures put in place, then we will just be talking about it each year.
That's right.
And that's not going to take us anywhere.
Indeed.
Anywhere.
I mean, Balde, I know it's not in the newspapers, but you know, Gambia has, of course, made the world news today for all the wrong reasons. And this always tends to happen with African countries, and it's because of the WHO alert. So I hope we'll find time to talk about that, because
it's important.
In fact, I did a screenshot about 14 Indian TV stations all carried the story about the WHO alert about the 66 children who died, acute kidney injury. And I think, you know, people who are parents need to know about the drugs. What I have here is not a color paper, but I think we have somewhere in the archives the actual picture which shows the color picture of the medicines that have been identified as being responsible for these. And it's quite interesting what they say. Laboratory analysis of samples of each of the 4 products confirmed that they contain unacceptable amounts of diethylene glycol and ethylene glycol as contaminants. Do you know what those things are used for?
No.
They're used to make air conditioners cooler.
They're
not meant for human consumption. They have no business being in any medicine at all.
What?
Well,
yes.
Then
that is serious.
It's disgraceful.
If that is the case, then you know, they should look at I mean, what was the intention behind that?
Just to kill.
Well, I'm not even. I think, you know, for me, I mean, the company Maiden Pharmaceuticals have actually been named by the WHO, which is a very unusual step, and they name 4 of the medicines that they produce that have been identified. So there they are on the screen. And, you know, one of our colleagues who's actually going out to do a story on this came over to look at it, and he said, oh my God, that's the one that my children use right now. And so, you know, people need to take a screenshot of that, and if you have these medicines
at home, you dispose of.
Dispose of them straight away. Dispose of them straight away. And in fact, before you do so, go and tell the authorities where you bought it, so they can contact that pharmacy or that chemist and say you should not be selling this as from today. It's dangerous stuff. And for me, you know, just before we came on air, I decided to do some research on the company. And this company was prosecuted in India for this very thing. Yes, this paracetamol syrup. In 2013, they did an inspection, and in 2014, they prosecuted them. But unfortunately, instead of just prosecuting the company, they prosecuted the company and the directors as individuals. And the directors successfully won the case, saying that it's a limited company. You can go after the company, or you can't go after us. So the case was dismissed, but they should have just gone after the company.
Exactly.
But it's for exactly the same thing. And you know, if anybody wants, I can send them the judgment, the court judgment. It runs to about 8 pages.
It's important for you to do that in the local language.
Okay.
For the interest of our viewers, I mean, our local viewers, to tell them if they have any of that syrup at home, let them stop using it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. Akumata la kay comme mbadi ngol melbe ñin programme o jube kan ñin tembena Mr. Balde mi fo aning Mr. Ade ay netalol yitande mel yalon ko wolbe dende ñim borol la momo paracetamol ti anin ñin toto borol mi yalon ko ñin India company mi yanko wolbe India wolle ka dada ka kinam bankunka andu ngajele ko company Jamal Bije mi yalon ko news bunda Jamal Bije ya kankula ko men tata fo dindin ta wor ani wor wolle munto wolle fote niola akonyin kono andon abar akonyin keda Gambia janne borol felenti promethazine oral syrup ani miyalon koy ka fayne ko Cofex Maxlin ani make of baby wol be mo fellati miyalon ko nyin tembenna momo yalon ka be buli la sokona ise kata ko ke ya tenkondi imanyana ka ta ka di Maghrib and cold wo fana mo fennati miyalon ko toto borole na be bulu kanadi la din ngola andu yasandame yata yafo do jaral lali ko mun docteur wolti wala lopitan bunda ya yitandi la ko yasanyi pharmacie kare isaje se bulo wol fana la ko no ka yitandi la nyin mu kulet mi ko nyin tembena munta don ka calbe ke ka ko konole so nyin tembena India bundale mi ko tolle nyin borol nyin taka dada woto kamala akumata pour ka yitandi na badi njube la Mr. Balde
kala mo anduda hida jogi sifa o syrup ko gallema ko syrup mo anduda ko kanko be wowli be wi no tawa e ko woni warde be sukabe men ko leydi kala mo anduda hida jogi odo syrup ko gallema di yidon don wadu fere itta syrup on weddodamo bay no way wasita ko kanko woni addande himbe ben cadele ko leydi Gambia do be wi ko Indian company goddo fewnimo te wari sukabe capande jeego kanyum e jeego ko leydi Gambia do so si tay a hebi odo syrup sifa wata okkumo biddoma min ko min nata on tenkine syrup jiding taw ha anden ko laabi fidandugol bibbe men e himbe men no jogi nafa moƴƴam. You know, let's talk about how ineffective the Medicine Control Agency is. I mean, I went there, I mean, at least to have a dialogue with them. You know, I tried reaching them. You know, what they told me was, I mean, I have to book a pre-interview with them first, so that they can know my intention and what I want to interview them about before they grant me a TV interview. So I said it doesn't make sense. I mean, it's important for you to come on our platform. You know, reaching these departments are very difficult sometimes, Mr. Ade.
And sometimes you wonder how serious they are about reaching the public, and I hope they're watching this, because I'm going to embarrass them now. Because when we contacted them today and said, where are you, so that we can come and interview you, They told our journalists, you're a journalist, you're supposed to know where we are.
What?
Yes, and you can quote me, this is on record, today. Just
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to know where they are. I mean,
well, how are you to say
you
such
don't
a thing?
even know when
It's
you talk
your
about the Medicine Control Agency. I mean, you're talking about health. You think about the ministry. You think about other places. So I don't think that's a positive response. I mean,
listen, I was fuming when I heard that because that's unacceptable. You know, what does it cost you to say we are on Kairaba Avenue, which is where they are, by the way, which is the very road that we're on. That takes you 1 second to say that.
Exactly.
You know,
so that's how that's the behavior.
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking about our nation here. We're talking about the health of our people.
Our children.
I mean,
here,
it's important. You know, it might be your own relative that is taking this, and the person doesn't even know. You know, as we are talking now, some people don't even know this is causing harm.
Well, as I said, the very journalist who's been assigned to this said he saw one of these and said, that's the one my children are taking.
Medicine Control Agency, it's difficult to read them. They are very complex. They are very difficult to read, because I went there with Francis, you understand? You know, I engaged them. I wanted to talk to their PR. But it was very difficult to reach that person.
Sure.
So I managed to get a number. When I came, I called the number, I mean, to talk to the guy responsible. That guy handed me over to another person. You understand? So that person said, I need to book for a pre-interview, because they don't know what we are talking about. I said, you know what we want to talk about.
Sure.
You know?
And if you go online, just go on YouTube, as people would have seen from some of the screenshots, 14 of the Indian stations on YouTube, this is their top story. If you go on Al Jazeera, it's one of the top stories. If you go on the BBC, it's one of the top stories. Not just health alert in the Gambia.
Yeah.
You are the people in the front line. Right now, you should be getting 100 calls a minute about this, and you should be ready to engage, not telling people you need to know where we are.
Yes, and when you look at it, Lolly, we are taking this very lightly for Gambia. We lost 66 children.
And how many more?
And few are in critical condition.
We had a doctor on HealthLink who says, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've only known of 2 incidents involving children in those 20 years.
66
and now
children.
66.
And we are sitting as a country bending ourselves like nothing happened. And nothing happened.
And
this is very sad.
This is a right time for the health authorities to come out.
They should be reaching out. They should be organizing a press conferences,
informing people, you know, trying to make us be calm, you know, tell us what is happening, current situation of this country.
And they should be doing what you guys did, telling us in local languages as well. Because not everybody who has bought this speaks or understands English. And so you need to tell people that this is a serious matter. As I said, if people don't believe me, go back and check HealthLink, and you'll hear the doctor say, in 20 years of practice, I've been aware of 2 cases involving children. We've had 66 in that short space of time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yes.
So exactly. So we, the Minister of Health, I mean, he should come out. He should say
Ministry
something.
of Health.
You know, the minister himself.
Medicines Control
Someone else
Agencies.
should come over and talk. I mean, you just don't have to sit there. I mean, your people are dying, and you are responsible for our health sector, and nobody knows where, you know, what's your position.
This is it. And when you go to the head of WHO making his announcement, he said something. He said, we've named the pharmaceutical company, we've contacted them, and to date, they have not provided guarantees to WHO on the safety and the quality of these products. That is why we've issued this press release, because the company are refusing to engage. This is the company in India. And they're called Maiden Pharmaceuticals. Look them up. Limited. Maiden, M-A-I-D-E-N, Pharmaceuticals Limited, of Haryana in India.
They should come out. Ministry of Health, we need you to come out now and speak to the public. This is an alarming situation. Mothers are worried. We don't know what to do. We really need you. Just come out and speak to us.
Well said.
All right, Mr. Ade.
I'm sorry to hijack the newspaper, but I think it's an important.
No, this is indeed important. We talk about it.
I mean, thank you for talking to us. I mean, for reviewing the papers, and also that important engagement there. And now we'll take a short break. Then from there, we will be talking to the team on breast cancer. As you know, it's Pink October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I don't know why we didn't brand our studio pink.
And I don't know why you're not wearing pink.
Well,
and I have to say, before I go off, I'm actually currently the chairman of a charity, cancer charity, Sierra Leone Cancer Charity, and that was formed because one of my cousins, in whose name we formed the charity, she died of breast cancer. And so, you know...
I hope chairman will be proactive. I hope it won't be those chairmen.
No. We have meetings every 2 weeks. We run the official cancer project program for Sierra Leone and for the Sierra Leone government. So we're very active. Congratulations.
I am pretty sure you would be able to fulfill all the responsibilities because you multitask a lot. Even at work, I wonder how you do all these things.
Yes, I wonder sometimes.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ade, for coming.
It was a pleasure having you on this morning.
We'll be back.
Espas Motors is the largest and most modern auto service in the Gambia. Espas Motors is the only authorized dealer in Sherry, Mercedes-Benz trucks, Mercedes-Benz buses, Kia, Ford, Futon Mini and Midi buses, Futon trucks. At Espas Motors, we have qualified professionals who use modern technology to diagnose and repair all brands of motor vehicles. Espas Motors services include auto sales, auto repairs, vehicle painting, availability of high-quality spare parts, towing services. We are reachable at any time. Call Espas Motors on 352222 353-4444 or locate us on the Bertel Harding Highway. Espas Motors. As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network.
QCell, GSM company minna yirwa tariata Gambia Bankoka. QCell la 4G plus network ya banko bela mura. Andung ala internet o tariata sidula saba katambi nyongola. Saun sahin, yesta 335# kumandi. Yadati kemuna fang 4G sobe wala. QCell, Gambia la network lanna yaringo.
QCell woni GSM company ɓurɗon janɗude ko leydi Gambia ɗo e QCell 4G plus coverage on ɓuri yawude laaɓi tati ɓe woni poɗodirde ɓen. Waɗu dial *335# fi wawa nafitorade ko woni 4G. QCell network ɓuraɗo holorede ko leydi Gambia.
Your favorite QCell service has gotten bigger. eFunkanta. Now you can loan bigger credit amounts to make life easier for you. Loan $75 and $100 and pay later. Yes, you heard me right. Get credit loan from $10 to $100 using eFunkanta by dialing *393#. Anytime you run out of credit, whether you want to buy Q-Power, browse the internet, make urgent calls, or send SMS. eFunkanta is the service for you. Dial *393# and choose the loan amount of your choice with no hassle. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus, the pioneers of mobile loan service in the Gambia. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QMoney is back again with its easy-to-use, secure and convenient mobile app that allows you to carry out all your transactions. No matter where you are or what time it is, you can always access your funds. With the new QMoney app, you can cash in and out, buy credit, buy QPower, shop, make payments, and so much more. You can also send QMoney, pay bills, receive international remittances, and transfer cash to others. Just download the app from your Play Store or App Store and get started. For more information, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Kalpe. We innovate, others follow.
Breast cancer. Yes, we are back again on QTV this morning. Now we'll go to social issues, and it's Pink October Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we have Dr. Sarah Jaju and Charles Roberts in the studio with us. We'll be talking about breast cancer and, of course, cervical cancer as well. What is it, and how can it be treated and prevented? I mean, it's important. Lady and gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very
yes. Let's start with the lady first.
Oh, today you're starting with the
lady. I
lady.
want to balance. Yesterday I started with the gentleman.
Yes.
Today I'm starting with you. Dr. Jaju, please take us through what cancer is first.
When you want to talk about cancer, cancer is in general when there is abnormal growth of cells anywhere in the body. When there is abnormally growing, uncontrollably growing, in general, that's cancer, what cancer is. Perhaps maybe Dr. Roberts want to talk more about that.
Okay, all right.
Yes, like she said, it's an uncontrollable growth of cells, and it can happen anywhere in the body. Any part of the body can have cancer. There are two types of, there's things that we call tumors. Tumors are just this uncontrollable growth, but then you have the malignant and the benign ones. So the malignant ones are the ones that are called cancers. They are called malignant because they are able to spread. And there are three main ways in which they spread. They can spread locally to the surrounding tissues. They can spread through what we call the lymphatics. They're through the lymph nodes, and then they can also spread through the blood to different organs.
Yes. All right. So when you look at cancer, I mean, it is categorized in different forms. And which one is the most common we have in the Gambia?
Well, for women, I think breast and cervical cancers are the most common. And then you have also the liver cancers. Liver cancers are also quite common. For men, yes, you have the prostate cancer that also comes in. But also liver cancer is also quite common in men. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So let's talk about breast cancer, Loli. I mean, it's Pink October. It's important for us to highlight this. There are people that don't even know when they have signs of breast cancer. So today on this program, we are going to highlight this. We are going to let people know when you see certain signs, I mean, developing on your body, you have to understand, you have to rush to the nearest facility. How does one develop breast cancer?
Usually, for one to really suspect that she has breast cancer, one, with the help of self-examination, we will talk later, you will realize that there could be a lump. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's painless. There could be, there's dimpling at a particular portion of the breast, on the breast rather, and then the patient could have discharges from the nipple. Sometimes you could see the one breast is abnormally bigger than the other breast. Also, they could also present with an area that is inflamed, red. Apart from the discharges, patient also could be feeling like a lump, not only on the breast, but under the armpit. with that, with self-examination, you could detect all that before even getting to the hospital. These are all changes that usually occur on the breast for you to suspect that something is going on the breast. It's not all lump on the breast, it's cancer. Some of them are just benign. Some of them are cancer. It could be painless, it could be painful, depending on the patient.
Because I wanted to ask that. I mean, how do you determine a person is affected by breast cancer? Maybe it might not even be breast cancer, but a person might be developing those signs.
Yes, so whenever a person develops signs like that, you have to go to the hospital. So some investigation will be done to actually make a final diagnosis of a cancer, or it's just a benign lump.
So, okay, thank you very much for honoring this invitation, coming on this platform to share with the public this awareness month with this cancer. And also, I want to know, how often do you see patients with cancer in your hospital?
Well, in particular breast cancer, we have what we call a breast clinic at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. And during that clinic, only patients with breast conditions are seen. Not all of them have breast cancers, but I had a few statistics. Let's say somewhere in 2013 or so, there were 41 breast cancer cases out of maybe over 1,000 patients that were seen. But this, unfortunately, is increasing. In 2020, last year, there were about 71. 2021, sorry, there were about 71 breast cancer cases seen at the clinic. And then from January to September this year, it's over 100 already. And the year has not yet ended. So the number of cases are increasing. It could be because the awareness is increasing, or it could just be that the number of breast cancer cases are actually increasing in the country.
That's important. The number is really huge, and the year hasn't even gone anywhere. Now, what are some of the risk factors included in this breast cancer specifically?
Yes, for the risk factors, there are what we call modifiable risk factors and non-modifiable risk factors. When we say modifiable risk factors, these are risk factors that you can actually change, you can modify, like lifestyle, smoking, alcohol, obesity. Those things can increase the risk of having breast cancers. But before I go on, one thing I want to make clear is that if you have some of these risk factors, it doesn't mean that you're going to have breast cancer. Okay? These are just risk factors. It just increases your chances of having breast cancer. So modifiable, and also like these hormone treatments. Some people take these oral contraceptive pills. If you take it for a long time, you also increase your risk of having breast cancer. And some people after menopause, they have this hormonal treatment to reduce the symptoms of menopause. That one also increases your risk of having breast cancer. Then for the non-modifiable ones, like age, I mean, you cannot stop growing older. So growing older increases your risk, and being a woman increases your risk. And here I might add that breast cancer is not just a woman's disease. A lot of people, I mean, the past few years I've been going around talking about this, but a lot of people are of the impression that men don't have breast cancer. Yeah. But it's not true. It's a myth. Men do have breast cancers. I in particular have attended to some men. We've actually had to do some operation on some men with breast cancer. So age, sex, and also there's a genetic predisposition for breast cancer. If you have a mother, an aunt who has previous breast cancer, you are at a higher risk of having breast cancer.
We'll take you through the facts concerning breast cancer. We have them on the screen. Men can have breast cancer.
Exactly.
It can affect both young and old. It can affect all races. Not every lump.
That one is very important. It's not every lump, like Dr. Jaju said, not every lump is breast cancer.
If you can get us the risk factors, I mean, please take us to that slide, the risk factor. There is something very important that I have seen. If you can scroll to that so that we can go through. Okay, all right. We can take a look at this one. It is also said the exact cause is not known. I don't know. I mean, yes.
Yes, the exact cause of breast cancer itself is not known. So that's why I said these are all risk factors, and having these risk factors doesn't mean that you're going to have breast cancer. So, like I was explaining, these are non-modifiable risk factors. The age, when you're above 40, you're at a higher risk of having breast cancer. And then there's these genetic mutations. This BRCA gene, that's the breast cancer gene, they're present in everyone. But then they actually help to protect the breast from breast cancer. But then when there's some abnormalities, some mutations in that gene, then the person is at risk, at a higher risk. Some people go to the extent of even taking out their breasts before any problem happens, so that they reduce their risk of breast cancer when they have these genetic mutations. Then you have the reproductive history, early menarche, that's the onset of menstruation. Usually some people start seeing their menses even before the age of 11, 12. And that puts them also at a higher risk of having breast cancer.
Okay.
And late menopause, after 55, some people, because the reproductive history, that's the time at which you are able to bear children. Usually there are a lot of hormones that are produced in the body, and these hormones actually affect the breast, and they can also affect, increase the risk of breast cancer. So if you have a longer duration in which you are exposed to these hormones, then you're at a higher risk of having breast cancer.
Okay. Now, what is the treatment? How do we manage it? I mean, even can we treat it in the Gambia? Can it be treated here?
The approach to breast cancer depends on the staging of the cancer. Patients that are diagnosed early, they have better treatment outcome compared to patients that present late. But usually surgery is done for those patients. We do surgeries. My boss do surgeries for those patients. And sometimes they could receive chemo. The chemo also is given to the patient, also, like I said earlier, based on the stages of the cancer. You're giving this chemo to shrink the size of the cancer that is pre-operations. Sometimes it's given after operations to kill the remaining cells, and also to prevent the recurrence. After chemo, also radiotherapy could be given to those patients, and also the other is the radiotherapy. Yes, I mentioned. But most of the time we give them surgery and then chemotherapy. We don't have radiotherapy in the Gambia, but patients do benefit from chemo and then surgery.
Is that effective?
How effective is that?
Yes. Well, like she said, it depends on the stage at which it's caught. In treatment of breast cancer, there are these three modalities, these three main modalities: the surgery, the chemotherapy, and the radiotherapy. So depending on the extent, some people just need the surgery alone. Others need surgery and chemotherapy. And depending on what you find on histology, the number of nodes and all that, they can also need radiotherapy. So not all patients need radiotherapy. But in our case, a lot of patients, they come actually quite late when the tumor is quite advanced. So some of them, we just do what we call a palliative surgery. Some come with the breast all fungating, there's a big ulcer there, and that one is most likely would have spread to different parts of the body. So just for cosmetic reasons, and because sometimes it's smelly and all that, so we take out the breast, we take out that breast, and then we give them some chemotherapy. But that one is not really curative because it's already advanced. But early stages of breast cancer can actually be cured.
Okay. And I know control room will place a slide that will talk about the important statistics from 2020 down to this year. So we will try to discuss the statistics because it's important we know how fast it is growing, or it is on the increase, or it is on the decrease. So if control room can bring up, that's the slide. So it reads in 2020 there were 2.3 million women diagnosed with breast cancer and 685,000 deaths globally. As of the end of 2020, there were 7.8 million women alive who were diagnosed with breast cancer in the past 5 years, making it world most prevalent cancer. Approximately half of breast cancer develop in women who have no identifiable breast cancer risk factor other than gender, female, age over 40 years. So what does this statistics mean?
Yes, these statistics are actually gotten from the WHO website.
Yeah.
And it just shows the extent of this problem. It's a global problem. It's not only in Africa or only in Europe. Actually, some statistics actually show that there are fewer patients in Africa that have breast cancer than in Europe. But globally, over 2.3 million, and about over half a million of them die. It just shows the extent of this problem. And one thing I must say about breast cancer is because Dr. Jaji was explaining some of the way it presents. And one of the commonest way it presents is just a painless lump in the breast. And that is why we are trying to get people to be aware of this thing and do this this breast self-exam so that they can be able to pick up these lumps early, and then something can be done about it. Because usually when you feel a lump in your breast and it's not painful, you don't take it seriously. You just ignore it, because people don't want to go and be showing their breasts everywhere. So they just ignore it. And then it grows and grows, and then when it becomes a problem, that's when they come to the hospital. And sometimes it's a bit late. It's a bit down the line.
All right,
so
interesting.
Next we want to talk about self-screening. How important is that, and how is it done? We have a slide that we want to
examine yourself.
Yes, we want.
How do you examine yourself?
Okay.
So these are some of the things that I've seen on the screen. But you know, as a layman, if I want to follow this, it might be difficult, or I might miss a step. So how would you interpret these pictures for me to understand?
Yes, maybe I'll just give a brief outline, then she can explain. In breast self-exam, what we want you to do is to be able to see your breasts. Usually, you look at yourself in the mirror so that you can be able to see the symmetry. You check yourself with your hands up, your hands by the side. You check whether any dissymmetry in the breast, and then you examine. And you have to examine the whole breast, because people actually don't understand the extent of the breast. The breast starts from what we call the clavicle up here to the rib cage down there, and then from the axilla to the center of the chest. So you can have a lump in any part of that area in the breast. So you have to be able to, there's a systematic way in which you examine all of that. And then, like she said, you also don't forget the armpit. So she can just take us through that, and then.
Yes.
Okay. Usually, first, it's for us women, we have to do it every month if possible. In the morning, you can just stand by the mirror, in front of the mirror, and put all your hand by your side. By then, you examine the breast, if there is any change in the size of any breast, if there is any differences from one breast to the other. So from there, you can just try to put your hand on your hips and hold it very tight. With doing that, it will tense the muscles underlying the breast, so that if there's any dimpling, as I mentioned, in any area of the breast, because you have 4 quadrants of the breast. You have the inner out, inner quadrant, inner upper, inner lower, outer, and then upper outer. So, and then the nipple. Plus the upper end to the clavicle to the armpit. So when you just put your hands on your hips and then hold them very tight, try to see if there is any dimpling through the mirror, if any area that is dimpling around on the breast, or any area that is abnormally swollen or red. Or from there, you put your hand, like you want to examine the left breast, you can put your right hand on at the back of your head, and then use this, not the palm, but this end of your hand around the finger region there, so that you can comfortably feel any breast. Sometimes those lumps, they can be moving around, so that you can just feel it. Even if it's moving, you can have a feel of it moving from any side. So when you put your left hand, your right hand on your head, and you use your left hand, try to gently palpate the upper outer. You have to do sequentially. So palpate outer, in, in, lower outer, then you to the nipple region. After palpating the quadrants, you just go to the nipple region and palpate. After palpating that, you squeeze the nipple to see if there will be any discharges or not. From there, you can go up, extend palpating to the clavicle region. Then you raise your armpit. Then your hand is already under your head, at the back of your head. Then you palpate on your armpit too to see if there is any palpable mass there. You can do the same for the other breast. Like you want to palpate the left side, you can put your left hand at the back of your head and do the same thing. You do it per quadrant, upper, lower, and outer, and then the nipple region, squeeze, and then do the same thing. You can do it almost all the time. Every month you can do it. So when anything is detected abnormal or unusual, one should not waste time. You have to go to the hospital directly, and then the doctors will take it up from there.
Yes. So what are the things that to look out for when you are doing this exercise?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That, like I said, you see if you could palpate for any mass, any lump. You're doing this, you're trying to see if you could see, you like palpate for any, that's the palpation sign.
I think there's a slide there to show things to look out for.
Yes.
But one thing I want to add is that sometimes it's easier, you do it like when you're about to have a bath or a shower or something like that, and then you put a bit of soap on your hand, so it will make it easier for you to be able to examine to feel the breast. And like she said, you do it systematically, then you'll be able to cover the whole breast. Some people do it by the quadrant, some people do it up and down, going up and down, but just be consistent and make sure that you're able to cover the whole length of the
for holding of the hip and tidying, you're looking for the dimpling, any area of dimpling. Sometimes it depends on the area the cancer is coming from. It might not come present as a lump. It depends. So when you hold your waist tight, and then the dimples is also something that is abnormal.
Yeah.
He's laughing.
No, I am. My people are talking to me from the control room. They want me to ask a question. According to what I had, constant sucking of the breast can reduce breast cancer. I don't know.
Dr. Labs.
Well, you know, they have been asking this. I mean, so I just want to know whether it's the, you know, these are difficult questions to ask. Sometimes it takes courage to ask them. So constant sucking of the breast, does it prevent you from breast cancer? I just want to know.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
doctors are here.
Yeah, doctors, come on, help us.
Actually, for the child, in fact, if you look at one of the slides, this modifiable, the modifiable risk factors.
Come on, man.
The breastfeeding actually is you can say protective, because usually when a patient comes in, you ask them how many children they've had, whether they've breastfed all of them. Yeah, so breastfeeding in that sense is protective. But the other breastfeeding, I mean, I don't think there's any.
I wish you can hear what is happening.
I don't think there's any increased risk. I don't think it causes any increased risk of breast cancer. Yes.
You know, Lolly, they are interested to know whether it's the biggest baby or the baby, the small baby. Come on. All right, so I think it's important. It was a very important.
I mean, it
so finally, what do you have for people out there, especially women, how to prevent themselves?
And what are some of the activities you're carrying out during this month in terms of awareness, in terms of prevention and diagnosis?
Well, maybe I'll just start with the diagnosis. The diagnosis is usually in 3 parts. You have the clinical part, that's where the doctor or the medical personnel examines the breast and then has a suspicion. Then you have the radiological part, where they do an ultrasound or a mammogram. And then you have the histological diagnosis. That's when they take a piece of it, either from a biopsy, either a fine needle, true cut biopsy, or sometimes even a small operation. They do an incision or an excision biopsy. And then it's sent to the lab, and then they look at it and come up with the diagnosis. And then when the diagnosis is made, then the treatment plan can be made. And in the Gambia here, we have the surgical option. Surgery also, there are two main options where you remove the whole breast, that is called the mastectomy, and then you have the breast conserving surgery. That's you just take out part of the part of the breast, the one that has the cancer, with a bit of the normal tissue around it, because you don't know how much it has spread. But then the problem with that is that one goes together with radiotherapy. And we don't have the facilities to do radiotherapy here, so we don't usually offer that type of surgery here. So we offer the mastectomy, and then we give chemotherapy. Chemotherapy, usually on a good day we have most of the drugs that are needed, but sometimes some of the patients have to buy one or two of them, because we usually use 3 drugs. It's usually a combination therapy to try and get the cancer from different parts of the cell cycle and be able to increase the kill of the cancer. So usually we have some of these chemotherapy drugs. So those things are available here in breast cancer. So what I would advise the public is that try and, now we have the internet. Look for a good picture that describes how to do a self-breast exam, and then make sure the young people, especially from 20 years, every month you try and do your self-breast exam, and try and do it around the same time of the month every year, so that your findings are consistent, so that you can be able to compare. And then if you notice any of those things that we showed on the screen, then just go to the hospital. It doesn't mean that you have breast cancer, but it's best you go to the hospital. Let a professional see you, and then do the proper assessment, and then we can take it from there. Because we've seen a lot of patients that have actually had some breast cancer, early breast cancer. They've noticed something, they've just kept it and then tried to manage it. They go for traditional treatment and everything. So by the time they come to the hospital, it's already very late. So the other thing I want to make clear is that early breast cancer is treatable. So the earlier you come and we are able to make the diagnosis and able to start your treatment, then the better the prognosis. That's what we call it, better the prognosis.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Sira Jaju and Charles Roberts. Thank you for coming on this program. It was very interesting to have you here. I mean, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I mean, we'll be having this throughout the month. And thank you very much for coming on the platform.
You're welcome.
All right, viewers, we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll talk to Samuel Ade from NALA. And today, You and the Law will be talking about police statements after arrest. We'll be back.
Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Save up to 50% energy with the new side-by-side Samsung refrigerator. Samsung air conditioners come with HD filter and antibacterial for your protection. Save time, energy, and effort by using our washing machines, loaded with innovative features that offer superior cleaning technology. Step into the future of television with our slick and slim Samsung Smart TV designs. Sizes range from 32 to 85 inches. Smart LED, Crystal UHD Ultra High Definition, and QLED Quantum Dark LED. Get new ways of interacting with your TV. Unparalleled vision, right from the comfort of your living room. Our products are backed with 1-year warranty. Visit us at QCell Building at Caraba Avenue or at Boosterview Turntable. Contact us on 333-3217 or email us at info@quantumnet.gm.
Medicalia is a high-quality clinic from Europe, which is now in the Gambia. Do you have an eye problem? Do you feel a hearing difficulty? Medicalia is here to ease the pain for you. The first and only hearing aid dispensing facility nationwide, where patients can be tested and treated to recover from their hearing loss. Fitted with latest generation equipment, our doctors can provide healthcare assistance for eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Common diseases like glaucoma or diabetic retinopathy can be diagnosed and followed up for fast and correct treatment. Make your appointment with the eye or ear, nose, and throat ENT specialist today to relieve any pain you might be feeling, as consultants are available daily. Contact us for more information. Visit us at Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week, or call us on 503-4411 or 7767123. Medicalia, premium care, personal touch.
Espas Motors is the largest and most modern auto service in the Gambia. Espas Motors is the only authorized dealer in Chevy, Mercedes-Benz trucks, Mercedes-Benz buses, Kia, Ford, Futon Mini and Midi buses, Futon trucks. At Espas Motors, we have qualified professionals who use modern technology to diagnose and repair all brands of motor vehicles. Espas Motors services include auto sales, auto repairs, vehicle painting, availability of high-quality spare parts, towing services. We are reachable at any time. Call Espas Motors on 352222 353-4444 or locate us on the Bertel Harding Highway. Espas Motors.
Yes, we are back after that, and now we'll go straight to You and the Law. You know, this is a segment that comes on this program either Thursdays or Wednesdays. So now what we'll do, we'll talk to Samuel Ade from NALA, and today we'll be treating police interviews after arrest. It is very important for us to know this. I mean, You and the Law, it's here to teach you your rights as a citizen, your right as a person arrested or to be arrested. What are some of the things that you should be able to do? I mean, whether what are your rights as a person in the hands of the law? Lolly, we have Samuel Ade.
Yes, it's good we talk about it because people really need to know what you expect when you're in police custody. What are some of the things that transpire between police and suspects? So we would like to hear from Mr. Ade. I hope you're not related to my boss, Ade upstairs.
No.
We'll find out after the program. Yes.
Well, I mean, I can say they are brothers. They share the
same
name. I mean, Ade.
Ade, yes.
You know. So, I mean, the last time I wanted to call my boss, I typed on my phone, Ade. I wanted to call you. So I called him.
See?
You know, so he said to me, you called me. I said, no, I was calling your other brother, Samuel Ade. So it's good to have you here, Mr. Ade.
Thank you very much.
Yes. What have you been up to? I mean, you were missed.
Yes, we have been busy carrying out some sensitization campaigns with UNDP. We have been going to the fields and talking to school children about their rights and informing them of what they should do when they come in conflict with the law.
Exactly. So today, I mean, our topic is police. We're talking about statements, right? Interviews, rather. We're talking about interviews after arrest.
Yes.
So let's talk about the interviews. How important is this when it comes to a crime, when it's committed? Why are interviews done?
In the first place, it is important to note that the police, in the course of their investigation of any criminal offense can interview anyone whom they feel can assist them in providing information about the commission of the offense. And the law encourages everyone to provide information to the police regarding the commission of an offense. This therefore means that the police have a right to invite someone to the police station to be able to get information from that person in the course of their investigation. But that is not our contention now. Our contention now is for those who are arrested, not those who are invited to give statement. Normally, when you are arrested, it is upon reasonable suspicion of you having committed an offense, or you are caught in the act of committing an offense, or you are arrested after you have committed offense. In that situation, you become a prime suspect of committing that offense.
Sure.
Now, certain rights accrue to anyone who is arrested for the purposes of investigation of an alleged commission of an offense. And those rights which accrue to that person are supposed to be respected by the arresting authorities. Otherwise, you are violating fundamental rights which belong to the person.
So, I mean, when it comes to interviews, should there be a special panel that does the interviews, or any police can do the interviews?
Normally, when you are arrested, you are at the police station.
Yes, if you are there,
your right to liberty has probably been taken away.
So, so do we have a special panel that is responsible for interview, or any police can do interview?
The police are responsible for that. If they choose to constitute a panel to do that, it is within their right to do it. Now, what is interesting to note is that as much as the police, with all the rights and authority that they have as police officers, need to know is that people who are arrested have rights, and those rights are guaranteed by the Constitution of this country. One of the rights is that you have to inform the
suspect.
I don't want to use the word suspect now. The person you have arrested.
The accused.
Still, though?
Well, I won't go into that.
Okay.
Yes, because you become an accused only after you have been charged.
Oh.
Yes.
If you are not charged, you are still
just
suspect.
alleged.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting to know.
So there are differences between the two.
The accused
and a suspect. The fundamental differences exist between the two. Now, when you have been arrested, you must be told of your right. And one of those rights is that you have a right to remain silent and not to say anything, because whatever you say may be used against you in the court of law or in further proceedings against you. And you must be told that you have a right to a lawyer. That is before you say anything. You must also be told, if you are required, whether you would love to make a statement regarding what you have been told you are arrested for.
But, I mean, it's different.
Now,
sometimes you can be taken to the police station and they won't, you won't be asked whether you are ready to make a statement. All that they will tell you is, come, let us write the statement. You have to come. So people don't understand this. They think it's their right, like it's a force for you to give a statement at the police station.
Now, before I
but before we go further, you speak any local language that we can?
Unfortunately, no.
So are we the ones going to do the translation later?
This is very important, just to limit it to English. I mean, those viewing to should. I think after our conversation,
we can summarize.
Yes, exactly.
That would be important.
Yeah.
So you can
continue.
Yes. In the first instance, it is very important to note that once you are arrested, the police must, within the shortest possible time possible, tell you the reason for your arrest. And if you are arrested upon suspicion of having committed an offense, the police must inform you of the offense for which you are alleged to have committed, and with details of the offense. The police cannot just say you are suspected of committing murder. No. The police must give you the details of who you are being suspected of having killed. Not only the person, but the place, the location, the day, and the time of which the offense is alleged to have committed. So that you are informed of what they have against you. The police also cannot demand that you give a statement. After cautioning you of your right to have a lawyer before you say anything, and of your right to remain silent and not to say anything, the police cannot go further to demand that you give a statement. But the police can ask whether you would like to say anything.
Anything, exactly.
Or not.
Yes.
So it depends on the suspect or the accused person of his willingness, his free will to be able to give any statement.
So where do they tell you this? Is it at the police station?
At the police
or
station.
Before you leave?
At the police station.
At the police station.
Yes.
Yes. But what about if, Lolly, 1 minute,
Yes,
like,
no,
just
go
give me
ahead,
some
yes.
time. Let me just ask him this. What about, okay, now I need a lawyer and I cannot afford a lawyer. I mean, what should I do? Because if at all a police asks you, do you need a lawyer or do you have one? Should I tell, how should I provide a lawyer? I don't have the money for someone to stand for me.
Now, this brings us to what we do as the National Agency for Legal Aid. We provide free legal.
Exactly. This is where I wanted to come in, because you've mentioned several important things with regards to interview. Where do you fit in this?
Yes.
Yeah, when somebody is arrested for an offense, and the police, in exercising the right of the accused person, asks whether, do you have a lawyer? Would you like to have one? The fact that somebody doesn't have a lawyer doesn't mean that he needs one. If he says, I need one, but I cannot afford one, the police are at liberty to call the National Agency for Legal Aid. We have our numbers on our website, and to ask whether the agency can kindly provide a lawyer to assist someone who is in their custody, for the person to be able to give a statement or for the purpose of interview. The person has the suspect or accused person has the right to waive those rights. You say, no, sorry, I don't need a lawyer. I can do this by myself. But he must be informed that it is his right to have one.
Sure.
And if he cannot afford one, then the agency can be contacted to provide one. Notwithstanding our constraint that we have as the National Agency for Legal Aid, particularly our human resource constraint, we struggle to make sure that when we receive such call, we send one of our lawyers to the police station, particularly within the Greater Banjul area, and where we have lawyers posted, like in Basse. There were times we have been called to come to Farafeni, and it's quite an awful task to take someone to Farafeni to attend to a police interview of a suspect. Yes, but the bottom line is, if an accused or suspect cannot afford the services of a lawyer for the purpose of his interview at the police station, the National Agency for Legal Aid can be contacted to assist.
Interesting.
That is indeed interesting. And again, for suspects, I'll call them, who are not interviewed at the police station, are they entitled to legal support from the legal agency?
Our services are kind of like threefold. The first is what I have just mentioned here, that the police can call us for this purpose. The second is that our doors are open for anyone at any time to walk in and to ask to see any of the lawyers if you have a legal matter that you need advice. And we give the advice free of charge. the hint side is that you may come to the agency at a time when all the lawyers have gone to court. So we may have to give you an appointment to come back another time when there is a lawyer on seat, and a lawyer will be assigned to you to give you free legal advice on whatever situation you are facing. That we do for both criminal and civil cases. The third aspect in which we come in is when you are charged formally before a court. And the Constitution provides that anyone who is charged with an offense that carries life imprisonment or the death sentence must be represented by counsel at the expense of the state. Which means if you are charged before a court with an offense, the court will ask whether you have legal representation. If you say you don't have, and the court will proceed to ask whether you can afford one. And if you say you cannot afford one, the court will ask whether you would love to be provided one at the expense of the state. If you accept, then the court will send an order to the National Agency for Legal Aid to represent you. Now the reason is because, as per the Constitution, no one who is accused or charged with an offense that carries life imprisonment or the death sentence should proceed to trial without legal representation. And that's where we come in. The bulk of our cases are cases dealing with accused persons who are charged with offenses carrying the life sentence or death. And we also represent children at all levels, both at the magistrate courts and at the children's court and at the high court.
Exactly. So now let me take you back. I mean, when a crime is committed, where do they tell the person the crime that he committed? Is it at his house or at the police station when they get there? When they are here to arrest someone. So they tell you at the house, I mean, you've committed this thing, or they should take you first to the station before they narrate what you did.
It is desirable that at the point of arrest, the person should be told the reason for his arrest. It is desirable. Because on what basis will you arrest someone if you cannot tell the person the reasons why you are arresting him? Even if it's based on reasonable suspicion, you must be able to tell the person the suspicion on which is informing his arrest. That notwithstanding, the law has provided that immediately the person is arrested, within at most 3 hours, he should be told of the reasons of his arrest. 3 hours. If you are not told the reason for your arrest and you are at the police cell or you are locked up by the police, then your rights are being violated because there is no reason why you are there.
Exactly.
So, as an agency, you're dealing with children, as you said. What are some of the things that you try to teach these children when you come into contact with them? Because you do sensitization. What are some of the things that you tell them to stay away from crime? Because, you know, if they happen to commit crime, they will be in trouble. So, how do you communicate with these children to ensure that they are safe and stay away from crime? As an agency?
I don't think NALA's prerogative involves educating children or the public to stay away from crime. That is the purview of the government. And the government has agencies that are responsible for that. Now, we have a lot of interactions with children who come in conflict with the law.
Sure.
And what we try to instill in them is the rights which they have when they come in conflict with the law. Generally, children are very, very vulnerable.
Sure.
And they can be exploited for many, many reasons, even to give false testimonies. Just the uniform of a police officer is intimidating enough to an adult. What about
a child? Yeah.
Whatever thing you say to the child, is this not what happened? The child will say yes, it's what happened, even if the child was not there. So you have to we educate them on their rights, not to be able to say anything, to make sure that their parents are supposed to be there with them. Their parents provide some kind of guarantee of security, that no harm can come to them because their parent is there. And they can be bold enough to say the truth or to say exactly what happened without any intimidation. And to also have social welfare workers with them to give them that guarantee that you are safe. So you can say what you know without being intimidated. Now, before we digress too much, let's go back to the issue of police statement, police interview. We have accepted that you don't interview someone by demanding that he gives a statement. You ask the person, would you like to make a statement? But that will be after you have cautioned the person that it is right to remain silent. Now there is a twist to it. You cannot tell someone that it is your right to remain silent and not to say anything. Then you ask the person to give a statement.
You see?
It is contradictory.
That is important for people to know. We have 2 minutes.
Any statement given at that time is not given voluntarily because it is demanded of him to give it.
We have 2 minutes to go.
Yes.
What's the difference between invitation and arrest? Sometimes a policeman can tell you you are invited at the police station for questioning and you are arrested. So what is the difference?
When you are invited to the police station, it's for the police to ask you questions, and you are not under arrest. But the moment the police needs to arrest you, the police must tell you that you are under arrest. That is different. You can be invited to the police station and the police may question you, interview you on anything which they feel that you can provide some information. It is still your right not to say anything, because whatever you say, you don't know, it may be used against you. But the moment you are a suspect, the police must tell you that you are being suspected. Once you are charged, because charging someone starts at the level of the police station. They can charge you at the police station and they can formally charge you in court. Once you are charged with an offense at the police, let's take this scenario. You are invited to the police station to give it for interview. During the interview, you say certain things, and the police record those things. Then the police goes ahead and said, now you are being charged for this offense. It is your right to remain silent and not to say anything, because anything you say can be used against you in the court of law. These are two different statements. The first one, you gave it when you were just any other person that was brought to the police station with the purpose of interview. This other statement, after you have been charged, is very, very important.
Yes.
It must follow criteria or requirements that have been listed in both the criminal, the Evidence Act and the Judges'
I'm told
Force.
time is up. They are sending signals. But we will continue this. We will try to see where we can continue by next week on this topic.
Thank you.
Yes, viewers, thank you very much, Lolly.
Oh yes, it was a good one.
Yes,
Thank you.
all right. This is all we have for you in this edition. Until next week, have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Oh,
Time.
Which is now in the Gambia. Are you looking for glasses? Then you have come to the right place. As a first step, we will perform an eye exam to ensure we prescribe the correct lenses for you. After that, you can select a frame of your choice. We have a variety of brands in stock, and you will definitely find yours. You can have the full package of Frame Plus lenses starting from $990 up to more for the most fashionable options. Once you find a frame you like, your lenses will immediately be edged by our lab technician. Within 30 minutes, you will be able to leave with your prescription glasses and a huge smile on your face. How amazing is that? Visit us at the Tropic Shopping Centre near Senegambia from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week, or call us on 503-4411 or 7767-123.